This is climate activism reimagined. A man and a woman gluing their hands onto the frame of a Constable painting at the National Gallery in London, hoping to make their message stick.
When there's no food, what use is art? When there's no water, what use is art?
Protest as performative art, repeated over and over again in galleries across the UK and other parts of Europe this summer, against the backdrop of a brutal heatwave. The people behind this movement are supporters of a campaign called Just Stop Oil, a coalition of groups including Extinction Rebellion and Insulate Britain that came together to start this very new, fresh campaign.
Its focus is to demand that the UK government stops issuing new licences for fossil fuel projects within the UK.
As you understand it, how many new licences are pending?
There are 40 new licences pending, and this is a death sentence. New oil is a death sentence. I know it, your viewers know it, scientists know it, oil execs know it. We all know we must come off oil.
But coming off oil isn't that simple. There are monumental political and economic considerations as to how to transition, along with how to pay for it, especially in the developing world. And change is being resisted worldwide. Many still deny climate change is even happening. Russia's invasion of Ukraine earlier this year has caused a serious global energy crisis, with European countries scrambling to buy and store as much fossil fuel as they can ahead of the winter. The war is also putting planned energy transitions at a crossroads, propelling big energy producers like Saudi Arabia back into the geopolitical driving seat. But for people like Rumbelow, it's exactly this crisis that makes a transition to clean energy so important.
So we're being posed a question by this moment in time, which is to stop licensing new fossil fuel projects and use the reserves that we currently have to make a transition onto a renewable society. Or we will see the death of billions of people and we will subject future generations to an inferno. So that's the choice that we have. And governments around the world are pursuing new fossil fuel projects with full knowledge of this information.
For Just Stop Oil, traditional means of politics no longer work. They want to take action. They've stormed the BAFTA Awards, invaded F1 tracks and football pitches, and even blocked major motorways, halting thousands of people's daily commute. The group calls these methods non-violent forms of civil resistance. Others call them just plain disruptive.
Since January, the start of the Just Stop Oil campaign, over 1,200 people have been arrested for their actions.
So ultimately, is this working?
Well, we're posing the government a dilemma. What happens is when they lock us up, more people come to join us, so they're just putting the problem off. And yes, there is disruption, but this is such a small amount of disruption to the disruption we've seen with the wildfires in London. 40-degree heat, record-breaking heat, which pushed our fire brigade close to breaking point. This climate crisis will destroy the infrastructure on which our civilization depends.
And that is why the group says the threat of retribution does not discourage them from carrying on.
It absolutely terrifies me, the concept that I might have to be arrested or give up my liberty. But what terrifies me more than that is the very real possibility that vast amounts of this planet are going to become uninhabitable.
It makes me angry that we're still not making that progress. It doesn't make me feel like we shouldn't keep trying.
Our government said that they're going to do net zero by 2050, which means they're going to make this worse for the next 30 years. It's like, that's not slow progress, that's the opposite of progress, right? Progress would be, we've stopped it and we're starting to repair the harm that we've done.
This is lives like my life, like your life, like our communities that are directly threatened by this climate crisis. And I hope that people decide to wake up and take part in resistance against this.
How long do you go on?
I'll continue this campaign until the government concedes to our demand. I will just keep continuing because I can't imagine anywhere else I would rather be than standing up against this really vile horror that is being inflicted upon us.
My camera is on, yeah.
Becky Anderson, CNN, London.